Hi there, cousin family. My name is Jahliali in this incarnation, and I am here today to talk about the energies of this next week from tomorrow, July 7th until July 13th. So we have two very, very important events this week. One of them, it is the entrance of Uranus in Gemini, and the other one, it is the full moon in Capricorn. So I'm going to embrace everything in the full moon. Regarding Uranus, that I am going to talk a little bit in this video today, you have already the video that I did from this transit. So it is important to remember that Uranus rules our nervous system. So I mean, it is important to put consciousness in the information that we are consuming. Excess of social media or news that are not helping us to stabilize our system. So the techniques or ways of reconnecting with the body to bring us to the present, to regulate the overcharge of thoughts, it is going to be something very useful. Or to regulate the difficulty to focus ourselves, that could be other shadow of Uranus in Gemini. Whatever thing that can help us to be present, that is going to be useful. And then it is about allowing whatever thing it should happen to happen because changes certainly we are going to see. I am having problems with the video, but well, it is something very common with Uranus in Gemini. I am seeing the image a little bit slow. Okay, you can listen to the voice only. The full moon in Capricorn happens on July 10th in the degree 18 with 50 minutes. This lunation always happens in the Cancer season, and it brings us to Earth regarding the house that we have Capricorn, and also this sign in astrology. It is associated with our goals, our long-term goals, our duties and responsibilities that we have, both in terms of our job, for example, as other areas of our lives. It is our capacity to sustain in time energetical investments, and also to sustain ourselves in many levels. As we are talking about the moon rules our emotional world. So it could be linked with sustaining ourselves emotionally, but also materially. This is also about persevering in something that we want to build, and this could be linked with more abstract terms. For example, if I want to build a better relationship with my partner, well, I have to assume the responsibility of my part, of the dynamics that are not contributing right now, and to do the labor to sustain that change in time. And later we are going to see a result. Obviously, this example doesn't depend only on one person, but Capricorn ruled by Saturn, it is also our capacity of putting healthy boundaries, because the terrestrial experience has its limitations, at least at this moment. I mean, we are going to live this quantity of years. We have certain level of energy. We need to rest. And even we have physical limits. We cannot teletransport ourselves. We have vehicles that can, accelerate the translate. It is the translate. Well, wait a minute. I'm starting with my English mistakes. Relocation. Well, can accelerate our relocation. But well, as I said, these structures are not rigid ones. They are able to change, and they are going to change, but many of them require processes that are much more extensive than the media, of a life of a human being. The media life of a human being. So Capricorn also represents the father and the figures of authority. Could be the tutors, the caretakers, when we were children. Could be a boss when we are adults, or figures that are that are in the front of different systems. Or could be ourselves when we are being responsible for certain projects. So police, for example, beyond what we can see, beyond how this is operating in many in many expressions in our society, and without entering in prejudices, because there are people that are conscious and with the capacity to attain themselves with their values, that are more conscious, and there are people with a lot of imbalances, with a lot of unconscious patterns, and I think we have all, a kind of these things. I mean, we can all improve in many levels, but with this capacity of improving them. And there are psychopathic people without the will of changing those imbalances in many areas of our society. And these latter, they especially are inhabit in these spheres of power. So what I'm trying to say is that this archetype symbolizes the figure of authority in relation to our society, because they have the role to reestablish an order, to put a boundary when something or someone is, doing a transgression of the norms. But we will see in the practice that this capacity to assume the responsibility for our acts actually respond to the level of consciousness of each human being, and that the role that each one of us occupy doesn't guarantee what the person is capable, if the person is capable or not of doing this. And on the other side, we are in a time where it is very important to understand how many norms have to change, because they have to adapt evolutionarily. I think I invented that word to what we are experiencing. This could be something super extensive right now. I'm not going to enter in how every system is actually taking another form, because that is something that I've been talking in several videos. I am talking about the healthcare system, the economy, people doing a public service, because Capricorn is the structure both of an individual and society. So one of the shadows of this energy is rigidity, when this truly it is not at the service of anything positive. For example, in 2020, here in Argentina, a man had to carry his ill child with cancer, because of the what we are experiencing in 2020. There was a restriction with the cars, and their rigidity is regarding this law. It turned into evil, but as every evil, something has to reveal. And I think that the purpose of the circumstance put in evidence the need of questioning our levels of obedience regarding the system and the norms that are not operating at the service of the well-being of society. So now, in an individual level, this could speak to us our own rigidities that generally are born from wanting to accomplish an image that could be validated by society or by figures of authority. If I am putting excessive exigency in myself, it is because there are imbalances, and there could be a belief that anything that I am doing, it is actually enough. So depolarization is denying Saturn and never making any effort. And I am talking about efforts that can actually be connected to the soul. That generally stop to be an effort, with exception when we are repeating certain patterns that are in opposition to what the soul requires. There we are going to have to do efforts to align ourselves, to transcend the inertia. I'm going to put an example. If I am a person that have the tendency to procrastination, the first step, it is going to be something difficult, but the rest of them are going to flow. It is that initial step. And Capricorn, precisely, it is cardinal energy. Cardinals are initiators. Aries is the initiator of fire. Capricorn, it is the initiator of earth. So other shadow of this energy, it is assuming burdens that are not corresponding to us from a path, or perhaps it is a job that the soul doesn't want to do, because we feel the demanding, the exigency of accomplish that because of familiar, cultural, social mandates. or, for example, wanting to resolve things for other people. And there is also an imbalance there, that responds to a seek of validation. Could be something that we learned, people are only going to love me when I do, or I take care of other people, or when I do whatever thing they are expecting from me, to the point that the person ends up collapsing energetically. So we have to take into account that this energy is also about a healthy autonomy. This means being capable of being in charge of our own decisions and the things that we really need to assume and that nobody can do for ourselves. But that is different to not knowing how to delegate or to ask for help, because there is also programming there. There is a limitation in not understanding how we need help from other people, we need support from other people, or in not recognizing that there could be other person that is more prepared in certain area of life and to delegate that task. Could be also a thing of an imbalanced ego. So these Capricornian lunations are always including the axis of Cancer, where the vulnerability and knowing how to give and receive help, contention, all of this is truly necessary. But of course, when there is a lack of integration of Saturn, that the Cancerian axis could be turned into victimization, this enormous sadness, and wanting that others, universe, or whatever thing solve our situations. And I think that we can find, as always, a middle point. I mean, we can validate our emotions, how we are feeling, at the same time assuming authority for what we need to do in the present moment. So this full moon, it is linked with seeing the fruits of what we have been doing, of what we have been investing our energy in the last 6 months regarding to the things that I mentioned, and the form that they are going to take, these fruits. They are dependable on factors and on each individual path and experiences. But going into the aspects, the lunation, it is in trines and sextiles with karma nodes, Pisces and Virgo, and two Mars in Virgo, harmonic aspects with Mars in Virgo. This is something very, very nice, because whatever is the manifestation, I'm referring that if there are, results, achievements, well, it is about to keep learning how to improve and to move forward into other goals or continuing in our path. But it is, if it's not this way, here Mars in Virgo, it is, this is your moment, it is saying to us, this is your moment to correct yourself, to rectificate, to choose the direction of your soul. This could be about an initiative, a habit that is helping us to change or to improve the process. I mean, there are people that are working in things that are not developed in 6 months, which is the cycle of a full moon. But in relation to regarding what they are manifesting, regarding what they are seeing right now, they could do adjustments and to optimize the process and to understand, well, this can improve, this can continue in this way. And this is also about taking decisions that intuitively know they have to take, and that can contribute in a very positive way, letting go of the excess, of perfectionism or rational control, very, very linked with the South Node in Virgo. So other very important thing that is also part of this week, it is that Saturn, the planet of time and karma, don't take karma as the bad thing, please. Karma as the consequences of our acts. It is retrograde from July 13th until November 27th. It starts the retrogradation on the first degree with 56 minutes of Aries, and it is going to come back to Pisces. I'm going to talk about that later. Therefore, it is stationary at the moment of the lunation. This could mean that there could be things that are being stopped, so we can reevaluate them. We could face consequences of past decisions, whether these are positive or negative. I mean, if we are truly willing of learning about them, we are always going to extract light. They are going to be positive in the end. But well, we have to take in account that if we did an evasion of certain responsibilities, yesterday I talked about Neptune that is in conjunction with Saturn and also retrograde. We could experiment frustrations, blockages, or restrictions, limitations that are, showing us what we need to do differently to move forward. It doesn't mean that we don't have to do anything until they are, stopping being retrograde. It is about occupying ourselves of what truly has a priority right now, of what is truly important for us to give our attention and focus right now, and not losing ourselves in fantasies. Because dreams require for us to be present in soul, in body, in actions. And also, this could be a signal for some people to understand that there are things that are sustaining, that they are not responding to the path that the soul really wants to transit. For other people, it is about trusting in what they are feeling, developing patience, and continuing to take action in what they want to build. Well, even though we have this phase of review in the area, at the same time, we are going to start uncovering a lot of changes, because Uranus entering in Gemini, it is adjusting the minor grand trine, which, the focal point, the apex, it is Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and also it is participating Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So in the collective level, we are going to see a great movement in the next months. And with Uranus in Gemini, a little bit like repeating myself, regarding the video that I did of Uranus in Gemini, we have to be able to question ourselves everything. The more rigid, the more mental rigidity that we are sustaining, the more resistance that this is going to generate. So it is important to open ourselves to evaluate things that we didn't think before. With this, I'm not saying, give them as truth, at the first instance, but to investigate, to question, and later, we could expect many things like coming out to light, news, information, things that can really surprise us, beyond the scientific discoverings and information, regarding these topics that are going to be also very, very accelerated. So the mind, it is an opened system, as every system in the universe. The vegetal world, we are coming from Uranus in Taurus. I mean, plants are permeable to the sun, to the water. They are not hermetic. So if we are closing ourselves in a particular idea, especially that is not helping us to move forward anymore, we are going against our own nature. As Uranus is very, very close of Gemini, and both of them are in a trine with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. In fact, the trine is perfected the same day, between Venus and Pluto, the same day, July 7th. This lunation, it is also about moving forward to learn new things, to connect with groups and different people. Ear is in Spanish, going through paths that we didn't consider before, and detaching ourselves from situations and experiences that are draining us. This is very important, transformation with Pluto. To open to those possibilities, even if this means to start all over again, being the apprentice in certain areas of life. So, well, I am here with my English mistakes, and I don't think that I'm going to eradicate them in the next videos yet. Okay, thank you everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.